Okay, so welcome to the class. Today, I'm very excited to share with you some concept that Gary Chapman offered for everybody. The concept is very old, like 20 years old now, and it's still be very popular, and it's very helpful for everyone who read his book, 5 Love Languages. This is really can help and can save many relationships, not just relationships between men and women, but between parents and children as well. So I see huge potential. And sometimes the relationship between your employer and employees. So it's always important to express your gratitude, to express your love the way other people will understand. Highly recommend to read his book, but even more, I recommend to listen his book. There is a recording where he is reading it. And he is quite a performer, like he is making voices and intonations, and like it's really, I had so much fun just listening to it. So 5 Love Languages, this is the best reading you can give yourself for. It's not very long, and you will learn some very interesting situations and very helpful information from that book. There are other books about love language for teenagers, for kids, and now, like, I don't know if there is a book about Marketplace. He was planning to do something for Marketplace as well. There are quick quiz. We will keep the link in info box for everybody who is going to watch this video, to link to the quiz where you can test yourself, your children, your husband, and identify what is their love language. So you will be not foreigners to each other, but speak the same language. Maybe not fluently at the beginning, but there will be some adjustments. Yeah, thank you for sharing the 5lovelanguages.com. There's quizzes in chat, so if you want to use it. So let's start drawing, because there is a lot to say, but we start drawing because it can be more fun to draw and speak. Let me switch camera. Okay. Oh, wait, I need to turn on the light. And where's my focus? Here it is. So today we are going to draw mandala. Let me show, like we did the same class on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, my mandala looked like this. So it was a little bit dramatic because I decided to add some red, and it was not the best of my decisions. So I had to cover it with gold. But today, I'm not sure what it's going to be. So before we even start to draw, I invite you to participate in an experiment. It's like really an experiment. So I reserve the right that it can go not as planned. And on a separate piece of paper, I invite you to draw or to write down 5 categories, and I will name them. The category first is going to be receiving gifts. So these are 5 languages, so receiving gifts. The second one will be physical touch. The third one will be quality time. The fourth will be words of affirmation. And the last but not least, acts of service. Now, I invite you to pick 5 colors. Any colors that you like, just any 5. Okay, let's see. And we will use those colors later. So don't lose them, just set them aside. So it's maybe. So 5 colors. And pick which color will represent which category. So this is an experiment. It does not, you don't have to really obligated to do anything in the future, but just play with me, see. Just see like which category resonates with which color. Okay, so I picked my 5 colors. I have my grids, and I just set it aside. It's really, that's all we need so far. You will need it like at the very end, and it may resonate or not. We'll see. It's an experiment. Now, it's mandala. Mandala is considered, it's a circle. Traditionally, it's considered energy in a shape, energy in a form. And we need to create a mandala with 5, it actually will be 6 circles. So the middle one will represent you. You can use compass, or you can use just pencil and write it, draw it by your hand. Like last time I did it with my hand. And so it's not really necessary to be perfect. So this time I want to do something different. So it will be in a compass. So you can do with compass or not. So it really does not significantly changing anything. I'm just, because I've done it by my hand and it was good enough. So it's not like something that is, I would change. So I'm just estimate how much I want, how many circles. So again, circles should not be perfect. There could be a message there if circles are really different. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 more to go. Be generous to yourself. Create big mandala. So don't limit yourself. Like, see how much is your piece of paper allows you to use. It may even go beyond some. See what makes you feel comfortable. 4, 5, 6 circles. So I have 6 circles. So when we do mandala, we those all layers will just representing yourself. Like the middle is your heart. The middle, it's a very hard to see, and it will be much more brighter when I add some lines on it. So in the middle there will be my heart, something that is really nurturing, like receiving the energy from outside. So I will receive, and like a sponge suck in all this energy of love that is available around me. And all these different circles will represent 5 love languages. Why do we choose all 5? Because everybody has all 5 of them, like everybody. But the difference is that some people have, not like everybody has some dominant language that is more recognized in our perception, in our expectations, in our expression of love. So let's go back, and what is the love language? Love language is a specific way of expressing your love. And as I mentioned, there are 5 of them. So some people expect that receiving gifts, this and giving gifts can be expression of love. Not just some materialistic expression, but like it's not just a money exchange, but it's a gift symbolize love, symbolize attention, symbolize that people thinking about them. Okay, while I'm talking, let's start adding some narrow lines from the center to the edge of the paper, and we just start activating this energy that is activating each layer, connecting yourself with all 5 languages. And I just continue to speak. You can identify and make more brighter each layer. And you continue to add more lines. I love to like activate each layer as well, like make it brighter, more noticeable, especially if I used my pencil. So I just start. I use just a uniball pen, but you can use a marker or pencil or gel pen. So there is any tool that is available for you can be helpful. Okay, so feel like this is about gifts that I was talking. And so another language is words of affirmation. That some people really expect you to praise them, to thank them, to acknowledge them with words, how well they are, how well they're doing, how proud of them you are, how much you love them. Like they're really looking for words. So some people looking for gifts, some people looking for words. So like if you tells your husband that like every day that he is means a lot to you, like you compliment him on any small details, like it really doesn't matter what you exactly compliment, but if it will be sincere, for some people it really makes much sense and much effect. For other people, affirmations really doesn't matter much because they may prefer acts of service. You can tell them how much you love them, but until you take the garbage out, there will be no confirmation that you love them. Like for them, chores can be very natural expression of love. And they expect it as an act of love. It's not something that like, it's not a chore for them, but it's a supporting and showing them the way that they important for you. When you help them, it's important for them. And one of the very popular is quality time. Some people really expect that if you spend more time with them, This is important, and this is how you express your love to them. They can be, I'm not talking like you take your husband to shopping, but if you want to just sit and talk or have a walk together, and your whole attention is to this person. So for other people, it's maybe not so important. The time, quality time really doesn't have such effect. Maybe they expect something different from their partners, but quality time is quite a luxury, especially these days. Request from your partners. Like if you have a quality time or they have a quality time, it could be not so easy, especially for if another partner is busy. And the one that I did not mention yet is a physical touch. I'm not talking about necessary sexual attraction. It's a different story, but some people really want to hold hands, hugging, kissing, cuddling. And I'm not just talking about partners, but children. Some children really requires a lot of physical connections, like touching on the shoulder or hugging or like expressing love through the hug. I believe like everybody experience, like when you go to some houses and people just all over you because it's in tradition, like it's in their the way they express their love to you, hugging and kissing. I know like in Russia it's a little bit more people hugging, but in US it's not so often. I believe if we go to Italy, it will be completely different story. So some of it could be affected by traditions as well. And so all those 5 languages, we really, when one language is dominant, we express this way our feelings to other people. And we expect that they will express their feelings, their love to us the same way. But it's almost impossible because your partner most likely will have completely different language. And the way that like for language that is dominant for you could be least important for them. Ironically, one of my dominant languages is gifts, receiving gifts. I love to give gifts. I love to receive gifts. It's important for me. I really consider it as a symbol of love, and I'm like, it's price doesn't matter. I just cherish the people took time and choose a gift for me that I like. But my child, like the older one, really, for him, it's a 0 out. Like I did a quiz for him. He did the quiz. I asked, he did the quiz. And it's a 0 out. He can care, like, he doesn't care about gifts at all. And it's as a parent, like you expect gifts and you give gifts and you expect that the child receive it as a act of love. And for them, if it means nothing and he expects something else, it will be considered as, okay, mom doesn't love me, so she always like give me some stupid things. And but for mom, it's maybe the only way she can express her her love. Like, thank God I know that gift doesn't matter for my child, and for him is more important to spend more time. And it's not for every child. So, like, of course, we all looking for attention, but for some people, we look more attention and spending time than other people. For another child, another child, he dominant love language is acts of service, and so he expects some help, and it's the way he is expressing it. So what else I wanted to say? Why do we have to need to know what is your partner love language? Because this is if we know how he expects, how it makes him feel loved, how it makes him important in your life, not just because you tells it, but like really expressing the way he can feeling it, he can experience it, he can understand on his language. It's like really like a foreign language sometimes you have to learn. Now we need to learn and express the way he can understand it, because it's you who wants to deliver the message that you love somebody, and to deliver the message in the way they can understand it, you have to use their language. Like, if I want you to understand me, I speak English. Because if I start deliver the message in Russian, nobody is going to understand and lose attention. It's me who wants to deliver a message, not somebody else, not him to receive it. He doesn't know what you want to deliver, so it's your responsibility to speak his language, especially when we talk about children. Okay, so something else I wanted to tell. How to recognize what's your language, what's your love language. The best way to recognize it, you can remember what made you happy. Like, if somebody, what in your life, what kind of experiences that you really felt is very important, what you remember the most. Is it somebody praised you, or somebody give you some special gift, or maybe it's some quality time? So just try to see if any memories show up in your related to feeling important, feeling loved. And another thing, try to remember when something was when somebody hurt, like when you expected a lot and there is nothing really happened, and this made you feel very bad and very upset. Okay, I have a question. So from Catherine, is there a reason that you are not rounding corners where the circles and the narrow lines connected? So those, the pale ones, I'm going to add more darker lines on top of it, because that's why I'm not connecting it, don't round it yet. I'm trying to round every corner that I see so far. But on the pale ones, like this is just outline that I will use as a guidance, and I will add more darker lines so it will be a little bit brighter. I hope I answered your question. Thank you for the question. It's a very good point.
Anna, I think she means that you're leaving some white dots in the went around.
This one, the teeny tiny bubbles. Those ones, I love the small bubbles because they make the whole drawing a little bit light, not so dark, not so solid. So it makes me feel a little bit lighter. So I don't like the big black connections. So, and I sometimes even add more circles, teeny tiny. Some people really hate to leave some small like dots in circles in their drawings. So let's see if it's what's your preferences. I try to save every little bit of white that I can, but it's not necessarily your case. So trust your expectations and desires. And where I forgot.
I just find it interesting you didn't darken all your concentric circles, that you're doing them, the circle part of.
I'm like, I want to expand them, not right away, but gently. Because every circle has a meaning and it's a very important meaning. So I want to be as gentle as possible. We're talking about love, and it's quite a challenging topic for me to express love the way some people expect. And what's interesting, when you look at your parents, see if their language, love language, is completely different from yours. You can just see what people remember the most, or praise the most, or share with you the most. Like they were very generous with words, or they more like, okay, so everybody fed and everybody is happy and dressed, and this is good enough for them. Maybe the act of service is a best way to share. But if your language is physical touch, and you expected that parents hugging you more, it could be a challenge. But if you if you recognize it, like, oh, my parents really like did everything possible, like to make sure that we are helped with chores and like dressed and like be comfortable, this could be the way to recognize, like, yes, your parents loved you. They just did not learn your language to share it, but they tried to show it in their way, in their unique language. So it's really may help you to recognize those bits of love that everybody was trying to give you in the language that they knew, not the language that you learned, not the language that you expected, but there still be, when you recognize another languages around, you can kind of guess what they are trying to tell you. Maybe it will be late, but it still be much more beneficiary for you to recognize it. Oh yes, they tried. I would prefer like if they speak my language, but at least they tried. Could be very helpful and very healing for you in any relationship. So right now we are drawing to activate all 5 of them in our lives, because we like if we talking about, let's say, the quality time, quality time, it means that like people really expect to spend more time, like they expect to travel together, they expect to walk together, to talk a lot, and not just watching TV, but like really paying attention to each other, like no checking emails or text messages during those conversations, and have the whole attention to each other. So it's like really, really listen and be present during some chores as well. And what I was leading to, I have forgot already. Okay, let me slow down, because I'm like trying to be ahead of me. I forgot what I was trying to say.
Are you talking about the parents and kids, different languages?
Yes, but no, this is gone. Okay, maybe it will be back later. So we have all these languages in us, and we are drawing to activate all 5 of them. Oh, now I remember. So if your language is dominant language is not quality time, it doesn't matter that you sometimes will enjoy the quality time with your partner. It's just not as important for you as for other people who consider that spending time together is a representing an act of love. This is a different meaning, different value to the same events. And you can really enjoy it sometimes, but it's not expected, not really valued the way other people may expect. And especially for children, we need to learn their language, because it makes life much more easier. And another thing that we need to understand, that sometimes when we have a dominant language and other people use it in opposite, like that if you, for example, if you have a dominant language, words of affirmation, and you expect that your parents or your spouse is going to praise you a lot, and this will be the affirmation of love, but it's if your partner use like mean words, those mean words will hurt you much more than it would hurt anybody else, because this is really direct connection between love and between words. There is so those words will have very clear connections to you, and there will be very strong effect. Mean words or good words, so it could be both of them. If you have a language is physical touch, so for some other people, maybe the physical, I cannot say the violence, but some physical push, let's say, means nothing. But for some people, it can be very direct connection to the love, and it will be very hurtful. So you have to be very careful. Don't use their dominant language to hurt them a lot, because it will be like really a kick under the belt, and it's you should be very gentle with to make sure that you learn this language and use it appropriately, because it will be a lot of damage if you know it's their strongest side and the weakest side at the same time. So you have to be very careful how you use it. So if your child, for example, is expecting words of affirmation, of course unconsciously, but like this is what means a lot to him, and you critique him all the time, you hurting him more than anybody else, more than other, like he will be hurt and damaged by those critique words, because other people may be not even noticing them, but yours will be specifically damaged by them. So you have to be very careful to make sure that you learn it and use it appropriately. So, as I said, like remember what's really hurt you the most, or maybe something that you complain the most, and see, it's usually related to your love language. Like if you're nagging that, like, okay, so he'd never done chores, he'd never done this. This is maybe very important for you. This is maybe representing that acts of service is important for you. But if your love language is words of affirmation, you may be disappointed and very hurtful, or have many hurtful feelings related to, like, if he did not help much in with chores, with service, with taking care of some elements in your daily life, daily routine. Acts of service is usually people recognize it, like do something, not just words, like don't talk much, but do something, like mow the lawn, vacuum the floor. This will be very helpful and very directly connected to love. Vacuuming is not just a vacuum, it's not just a chore, it's act of love. It's a different value to it. And maybe you don't even recognize it as an act of love, but it makes a lot of much more satisfaction for you than to anybody else. It brings different associations. So acts, love languages, I don't know how they really originate. Like they usually started from the very early age, and maybe they affected by the families, but it's still be like they of course they most likely affected by the families, but they lasting for the whole life. Like they may change, they may have a little bit adjusted. Child like 5 years old may expect a little bit different words of affirmation or different physical touch, and maybe but you need to like not maybe you need to adjust as an adult as how to express it, but you can adjust it. Like for children, it will be one word. For teenagers, it will be different words. And for adults, of course, it will be different, but it still be words. It still be praises and affirmation that they expect. Like they will feel better when they hear them. Some encouraging, some really supporting. I have some, I forgot today all my words. I'm so relaxed with all this mandala. Okay. You can do this simple quiz and recognize which language is yours. Like there will be some maybe 20 questions that will give you statistics, what and the percentage, which one is dominant. And it's very important to tell your, to know your language and to tell about like some, maybe not the way like, oh, you know, so my love language is this. Like some people don't know what you're talking about. So, but you can say very clearly that like for me, the quality time together means a lot. This is for me has a very high value, and I recognize it as a expression of love. So please spend more time with me, pay more attention. I maybe don't need so much gifts, but time is very valuable for me together. And so you have to be very clear about what you're expecting, because if nobody knows about it, there's very high risk that nobody really give it to you, or not in the amount of satisfaction that you really expect. Some of those languages could be very challenging. Like, for example, if you are born in a family that is not really touchy, like nobody is touching each other, and your partner requires a lot of hugging and hands holding, and it makes very unusual and uncomfortable for you. It's maybe not easy to learn, but remember that you're trying to express your love, and it's the best way to express your effort. It's learn something uneasy but important. You're doing it to express something, and at some point you can be very fluent with this language. It's really like a foreign language. You learn and you pay attention, and it could be uncomfortable to express it, but at some point it will be developed, the skill will be developed. And it's okay if at the beginning it's maybe not natural, but it's practice makes everything easier. So see, and it's really such a fun to learn something new, acquire new skills, acquire new tools as well. It's a tool of expressing your love, expressing of your emotions. Unusual, maybe uncomfortable at the beginning, but it's new way to talk, to communicate. We're trying to be so focused on results all the time that we're losing the precious joy of communication, of solving problems. Like the process of solving problems can bring some joy, some satisfaction, and it's very important to recognize it as a process of life. And it's if we only focused on results, what is the point for all this time between? Like, it will be wasting. But if you can enjoy the middle process, it can be much more beneficiary for you and for other people in your life as well. Okay, please ask questions, because it's like I'm trying to hold the whole book at the same time in my head, and it doesn't really so easy. I need to organize it much more, like in chapters.
Do you think that with the test you can have one result one time and then the other result, another result, if you do it again?
So there, most likely you have two dominant languages, and they can be very close, like 20, like let's say 30-31%. And depending on different days, it can be changing. Like one day one will be 31, another day another one. I actually did the test twice, and the dominant language, like there still be two top, but one day it was words of affirmation, another day it was gifts, but affirmation was a second one, and it was very close. So there is no dramatic change, and you can expect that it's two languages will be dominant for you. So you just learn like which one important for you. You can use all of them and see for which one you will have more reactions, which ones will have more value to you, and or to your partner or to your child. So, and observe, like really, it makes so much sense when you know that your language and how you pay attention to some detail that other people, for example, doesn't pay much. And it's really interestingly affect you. Like you're trying to express your love in certain ways, and this is always presented in your life somehow. Okay. So I'm almost done with roundings around. So add as many lines as you want, because those lines really representing activation of your mandala. And we will start coloring it very soon. Okay.
Anna, do you think that people can change their love languages? Oh, they will. Oh, okay, Matthew is asking, should the circles be neural lines or smooth circles?
I use neurolines. Everything that we do in Neurographica, we usually use neurolines. Even if you draw the circle, I usually follow with neurolines to make it more alive, to make it more natural. So like more life, dynamic. Yeah. So the question, let's go back to your question about can you change the language? It's actually most likely you will stay with the same love language, but you may develop other languages more. Like if you live with the family that really value the time, like quality time, and like you spending more and more time with other people, and it's become more natural for you, and you really recognize that this is like really expressing love to them, you can be receive more joy from spending time together, but it doesn't mean that it's changing your language. It's just like you are so fluent at foreign language now that it's become more natural for you. Most likely your dominant language, original one, will still be important. The same, like very valuable. And sometimes we have very, not damaged, traumatized from the childhood, for example. And we have such a bad connection, for example, with the physical touch, that it's could be still be your love language, but there is some other pain that related to it that needs to be healed before you can be really feeling connected to it. Like it's not just wasting, it's not just disappearing, it's really just different connections to it. It still be more important, there still be a lot of value to it, but it's just needs to be healed. As I see it. Okay.
So I was thinking, people who love to eat, is this the experience one that their language?
So eating is like, do you mean overeating, or is it
Enjoying the food?
Enjoying the food, like foodies? I don't think it's related to any physical touch. It could be just because food is different. Food, it's not something that you expect from other people. You like it or you don't like it. I don't know. It's a very good question. I will, like, my question after the book was like, if we, for example, if people who expect gifts as a way of the like affirmation, like gifts as a language, love language, are they more chance that they are shopaholics or not? Like if you're buying gifts all the time to yourself. And it's interesting, like we had on Wednesday, we had another person who has connections to gifts. And she said like she hates shopping. It's really not her thing. So there is no direct connection there. And there is no direct connections to genders. There is some observations, but there was no really any gender related research. Like usually, like the Gary Chapman is answering this question, and he said that I believe usually women expect quality time, like the more dominant, and I think gifts, and men are more like affirmations and acts of service. So, but there is still be I don't see it's very connected, because I have my husband and my son, one of them, quality time for them, me, like dominant languages, and for me quality time not the least, but it's not very in a higher rank. of languages. So for me, it's a foreign language that I still learning, but it makes a lot of sense why when some request from my family. Okay, so I activated all these 5 layers, and I invite you to see, I already started without explaining actually, but see if there's any circles starts appearing in those layers, if there is any curves that may be extended to circles. Those circles will represent acts of love in your life. Maybe not in your dominant language, but it will be expressing love and affection, gratitude from everybody around you. Not necessarily from only from your partner. It could be from your employer, from your neighbors, from your friends, from your family, from your siblings, and of course from your partner if you have one. So see if you have in any curves recognizing those beautiful circles. They will be like oxygen bubbles, like air bubbles that makes everything light and life. Like there's a lot of life in this love mandala. So we allow ourselves to be activated with air, like beautiful bubbles start rising. And circles could be outside as well. They may represent not just acts of love, but some people who loves you. So see if you want to find them in your surroundings. See if any curves already give you some hints and some potential. Recognize those people in your life, or maybe inviting new ones. See, there is no really requirement to be directly connected to this person right away. Maybe it's somebody new appearing in your life. Like I very addicted to this bubble hunting, I call it. When you start in a potential curves, recognize all these possibilities around you. And as any neurographical work, the more lines we have, the more neurons we activate, the more neuron connections we create. Okay. See if we have. Okay. Any other questions? And pay attention, how do you feel? Like when we're working with circles, especially or gradually increasing, it's a very harmonizing shape to work with. And it's just activating this harmony in our perception to life. It could be very powerful. So pay attention to your physical sensations, to your emotional state. See how it's really changing anything. And how many bubbles you see? It's maybe few or many. We are so different, and not about quantity, but how you resonate with them. This is what matters the most. So,
And you heard the expression love. Oh, this is another question. Okay, does it make a difference if the bubbles are on the circles or between the circles?
so some of them are between, or some of them are really holding several layers. So it doesn't matter, like see where they want to, what is the most comfortable place for them. So it's not really like, we can be loved as much as we can recognize acts of love in our life. So if you recognize that person show their respect and gratitude to you, maybe not in the way you expect, but you recognize it as an act of love, this is what matters the most. This is, you can have you can be connected to this act of love. So you learning and activating this ability to recognize all acts and all languages at the same time. It's not just to be polite to other people, but to enrich your life, enrich your world, and feel more loved. Because there will more languages you know, the more you recognize from other people, the more you be satisfied. So this is the reason we're activating it, so we can be connected to many opportunities to see it in our life. We can be expecting one, but it will be, what if we can speak all 5 of them and see when other people speak to us? Isn't it beautiful if you can learn English, Spanish, French, Russian, Chinese? Wow, the world would become very small to you. You can communicate to everybody. Yeah. It's really like activating the Google Translator. I love Google Translator lately because it helps me to communicate with so many people on so many different languages. It's really expanding your world. I become like, I find more and bigger circles now. And it's, okay. Matt, you're starting to saying something about the phrase saying.
Okay, so there is a saying that men love through their stomach, like husbands love through their stomach. Have you heard it?
Yes, yeah. In Russia we speak. It's a little bit different. That the way to the heart of a man go through the stomach. But yeah, I would say it's not for everyone, but it could be. But it's really, for some people, it's very important. For some people, like, they don't really pay attention to the food. And I don't see direct connection to the food and love. It's maybe recognized. No, I'll take it back. It's maybe recognized as acts of love. Related to the food, from different. It's not from the Gary Chapman. It's from different experience related to the constellation work that I actively participate with. And one of my teachers, Engwin Sanjast, she has a very interesting relationship to addictions to food and to some food and some substances, and they related to some emotional issues. Like if you are addicted to sugar or milk, it's maybe related to mother. It's maybe related. And another thing, that if you have any allergies to some food, it may have some connections to emotional. Like it's really connections to emotional. Everything is connected to emotional. But some food may represent certain energies in your life, certain people in your life that your body developed such reactions to it. But I don't think that the love to food and foodies is considered as a separate love language, because they can be like a dialect or something, like some additional flavors to some languages, like some but it's a very interesting question. I would never ask myself. Thank you for asking. Like now I will start thinking about it. Maybe something good will come from my thinking. I will let you know if I know,
So,
if I learn something.
Yes, but you think for Christmas dinner, the family meal is an act of service, I think. Maybe it depends on the occasion.
It could be anything. It could be quality time, or it could be act of service, or it could be receiving gifts. So Christmas dinner, it has a very different connections, and for different members of the family, they will recognize different. Like if you will ask the same family, but different members of the family, what did you remember the most from this dinner? Some of them like, oh, I love the conversation. We had such a blast, talk so much. Some will say like, I love just like when we were sitting together and maybe not even talking, but spending time together. Like we had a blast walk or some chat. Some will be very happy about gifts and very excited about gifts. So the same situation, but different people will have a different story based on what they paid attention the most, what affected them the most. And this is a very good way to test what is the love language for different people. So, very good question. Thanks a lot. It's very interesting how we, based on our perception to life, we look at the same situations differently, and how we give our own interpretations to the same to the same event just based on our experiences. So it's very interesting. For some reason, I got so excited about this question. It's like something very powerful
About
it.
Christmas gifts.
Oh yes, Christmas gifts. Yeah, and again, like when we're talking about gifts, it doesn't not. I will be very careful. It doesn't matter how much it is, but sometimes the most precious gifts are handmade because people just invest their time in it, and it's thoughts and really make something unique for you. So it's a really big symbol for you to create and to give such gifts. Like I love to like as I mentioned already, my one of my dominant languages is a gift. So I can spend weeks on creating a gift, like a wood carving or something, or painting, and it will be really considered as an act of love for me. Like I really want to make sure that the gift will be recognized as to express how important this person is to me. Which is maybe why there are so many arguments at Christmas. Maybe because we really expect differently. Yes, yeah. It's a very good point, Matthew. Like I will read the question so people who will watch it will know what we are talking about. Maybe it depends on occasion, which is maybe why there are so many arguments at Christmas because of different expectations or underappreciated or misinterpretation acts of love. Yes, it's one of the reasons. And again, the families have so many entanglements. So there is always the story, and the stories at such reunions very often activated. And if there were arguments, usually started not at the event, they started much earlier, like most likely from the childhood. And if there was underappreciated the act of love, and it was like with a 30 years history behind it, like he expected a big gift, and he expected a big gift, and expected, and like every time he only thing that he received was like words of affirmation, or he expected a big hug, or just some kind of physical acknowledgement that he's important, and he received gift instead. Like there will be underappreciated, like there will be misinterpretation of acts of love, and it will be very limiting for, especially for the person who is receiving it, and dissatisfaction, of course. It's families are very interesting. I want to say entities because it's the family is really alive. It's really has its own patterns, its own stories, its own energies. So they create very powerful emotional stories, emotional connections that, and it's not just, it's really related not just to present generation, but to many generations in the past as well. And it's too many generations in the future. So the families have a big resource of energies, but we, in most cases, we have some blockages as well in the family. Not every family is serving the way its purpose. Or maybe we don't recognize the purpose the right way. This is probably another reason. On Wednesday, somebody asked, like, how you, like, with all your work and your husband is a quality of time dominant language, how you're dealing with this? Like, I have to say, we're dealing very challenging this time because it's hard for him and for me to share that quality time when you are busy. And it's not the question of how much time, I believe, but how you can be, like, even if you present and spend an hour with your important person in your life, how you can be dedicated 100% during that time, how you can spend it without interruption, without distraction, and be focused on that person and make sure that the person is really receive the message that it's he is important to you. Not because you say it so, like, you see, I spend 1 hour with you, but like make him feel it and recognize it himself. Okay, I think I have enough bubbles. I maybe will add some more in the future. But now I invite you to, like, those 5 colors that we had at the beginning. We can start coloring those 5 circles. The middle one, you can choose another color. The middle one, you can choose something that really, or keep it white. So it's up to you. So some colors that really resonate with your heart, that can express those 5 languages and recognize them and accept, like, because this is really like we can radiate all this or emanate this love and languages, like we can okay, so I will start coloring. Balloons, like the circles that represent acts of love or people who loves you in your life, can be colored different colors. You may make them different, like with all other 5 colors, or completely different color. You can pick those colors completely different. So see what is your intuition is trying to tell you, like what is your desire, how to color it. And we just start coloring. You can create actually not layers. If you want, you can create segments of those colors. See if it's something different for you that you want to experiment. And you may expand the colors beyond your mandala, because it's mandala represents you. You are in the middle, like your heart is in the middle. So you can do it, expand the colors and inspire other people. To share your love with other people in the form of, in the language that they can understand and feel comfortable about it. Can be. So I'm coloring. And see, again, like when we bring more colors to your drawing, see how your body resonates with this. Any new sensations, new experiences, new observations. So pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your emotional state. How do you like your mandala? Is there anything you want to add this month to this mandala? There's anything is you like the most, or maybe you feel some not restrictions, but some limitations about it. And if you feel that some of those layers that we are coloring wants to shine outside, you can expand the colors from any layers to outside as well. So it's not necessary you will be expanding only last circle. You can do it at anything else. See how it wants to be on your side. And again, you are unique, and that's why there is no expectations, no comparison to somebody else. See what you really feel comfortable with colors. Use them the way you want. Not you can blend them. You can use grading. See. Some people prefer to color with like hashing. I'll show you what I mean. Like they do my soft, but sometimes like they start coloring like this. So this may be activating some anxiety because it's a spiky and there is no connection, there is no smoothness. And so if you have such coloring, I highly recommend to go across and smooth it out to make sure that this is a little bit softer. So that this is, because we're talking about mandala, so it's maybe harmony is what we are really looking for. So we can be very in a calm state, in a satisfaction after we color. Some people use this hashing very professional, and it's very beautiful. But again, it's a very challenging way to color and make sure that it's not overwhelming emotionally. So just be careful about it, like be aware of it. So it's not something to avoid, but be aware that it's could be representing some anxiety or activate even some anxiety. I cannot say that activate, but usually when in Neurographica, when we do some drawings, our subconsciousness is talking to us, and this is related to anxiety. I see it in many drawings of my students. And I see that other instructors recognize it a lot as a way for anxiety as well. Again, you may blend some colors so they smoothly there is smooth transition from one color to another, or you can keep them bold and clean as you wish. There is no right decision or the only way to do it. So. We had such a chilly day today in Seattle. Like in the morning, there was 60 degrees in Fahrenheit. And like, I cannot believe it's such summer for us this in July. Other places have much complained that it's hot there. We are not complaining about hot. Again, pay attention to your body, to your emotions, to your feelings. See, observe them. Like, there is no judgments. We just observe them. And again, there is no we don't expect that your body will scream to you. Most likely it will be just a teeny tiny whisper of your body. And it's listen, like if you have any shift, energetic shifts, or maybe temperature changed in your body, or maybe some, I don't know, your nose is scratching or you become thirsty. Those are all body reactions, and they may, it's not like very important, like why is it scratching my nose? It's what's the meaning, but how you can pay attention to your body and recognize when it has reactions, how you can recognize small reactions in your body. And when you will be easily to recognize them, you can pay attention what the body is trying to tell you. More and more, the body will make sense to you. The actions will make sense to you, and you will be feeling more grounded, more present when you pay attention to what is going on in your body at that right now, at the present moment. So. I have so many lines. See how you're breathing. If there's any limitations on the way you're breathing, like how deep is your inhale, how long is your exhale, because we are, it's the easiest way to connect to your body. Just observe the way you're breathing. It's very important. Breathing is very important. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, Ned has to leave, so if you have questions, please let me know, because I will be happy to answer. Or any observations of your experience, like if what you like about your mandala, about the process, or maybe something that is challenging for you. So it's an interesting way, the best way to share it.
So do you just fill in the circles with whatever color you feel drawn to, or are you using
Yes.
the schematic that you set up in the beginning?
No, I actually forgot about like which color I used for which. I'm just I trust that my subconsciousness wants to give me a message, and I just follow the earth, like which color match to each one, and feel attracted to which color. So I like really trust the process. Like I did not look in my connections to the languages. I'm just seeing if I will be accurate about my expectations, about my knowledge about my languages. It's maybe not 100%, or maybe my mandala is more accurate than a quiz that I took with 5 love languages book. So I'm more curious. Actually, I'm not even so curious about all the layers of mandala, but I'm so excited about all the circles around. They really bring my attention, and I'm saving them for the very last moment to color, because I'm so I want to make sure that I pay enough attention to them. I don't want to rush through them. Like I really want to it's like a dessert to me. So I want to save it for the last moment. And maybe I want to create some more. See which one will appear in my mandala. In the mandala, the center of the mandala is usually presents the God. And in this case, we are connecting heart and God in one mandala as a divine presentation. Heart is a divine presentation of presentation of divinity in a human. It's interesting. Some areas are very busy with circles, and some are just not much. Let's see. Okay, just a little bit. Teeny tiny circles. I'm not sure yet what will be the class about next week, and there is a chance that I may be next Friday, maybe I cancel the class if we decide to like take a break and spend more quality time with my family. But I will do some, I will let you know in ahead if there will be such a decision. Like, and it will be posted in our group, Facebook group for sure about it. We'll see. There is no concrete plans yet, but, and it seems like there is so many changes related to the COVID-19 again. I know that the Texas is closing again. We'll see. If I have a moment to spend with family, I will let you know. Usually at this time of the year, we are traveling somewhere with family, but this year it's very unusual. We are not going anywhere and very busy during the summer. Everybody in the family, not just me. So it's a usual year for everyone. Which is just different. It doesn't mean that it's bad, it's just different. So if you have any questions about the book, about the 5 languages, or about the mandala, let me know, because I feel like for me it's much easier to answer questions than just give a speech or some, which I love too, but I love answering questions much more. Time to expand colors, inspire my environment. Make sure it's as colorful as everything else. Or sometimes when instead of expanding your colors, you may start coloring environment and allow it to affect your colors in mandala. So you can not suck in, but kind of absorb those colors from outside, inside. So this could be very helpful as well for some people. See how you want to, see how you're feeling about it. It's usually not very easy for me to allow those other colors to go inside. See how you're mixing, which colors wants to be mixed, which colors wants to be maybe outside you want something completely different. And I was thinking, I'm not sure, but if any 5 languages are really resonated to chakras, And in this case, maybe there's 2 more languages that we are not aware of it yet, like maybe like spiritual connection. This is may have really, why not? Some people really, for them, important to be spiritually connected without, and they expect more from your person to share your the way you're thinking, be connected through this experience. But this is my thinking, like this is my questions to to the book. Why not? Why is it only 5? So if you have any thoughts about it, I would be happy to hear them.
Yeah, I would add deep conversations.
So yes, it's really makes sense. For some people, it could be very important. Okay, so I have a question or comments from Matthew. I put my highest ranked love language in the center, close to the heart, and expand outwards with languages lower scored. I find it very hard to color the largest circle in the least favorite language. It's interesting because usually what you like the most, you allow yourself to express it the most. And you choose the smallest circle basically for, it's close to your heart, but it's smaller. See if it's very your favorite color. I would highly recommend to color this, to use this color more in your environment to make sure that people express it in the more often, so you will feel more comfortable. See if you're right now in your environment, the least color, the least favorite language on outside is what you usually receive as an act of love. If it's what you really, people try to show the way they show it. In my case, like my, the biggest circle is my favorite one. So I'm just interesting how you placed it differently. But trust your intuition. I'm glad that you trusted, like that I did not really, you have to color like this circle this way and you color this way. So you follow your intuition and you follow your consciousness, subconsciousness or consciousness, whatever it's tried to tell you the message, and learn something about yourself. So see how it resonates. And maybe if you have circles around, color them with your favorite language. So you have more, more opportunities to recognize this love around you. So see how it resonates with you. So I give you many options. You pick the one that resonates the most, or create something yours, like unique way to increase love in your life, or like the value of the quality of love in your life. So you don't want, so if you don't want 5th language to be a barrier, so you can mix it. You can mix with other colors. You can add this, you can add the favorite of yours colors to every other colors, like to every other layer. And, or you can create this race of color that is going through your, from your heart or from your favorite language to expand more to the outer world, to the environment. see if something from this can be resonating with you.
Yeah, I agree. I ended up finding that myself, that there's a tension between my favorite, showing of love, bringing it close to my heart, but then that was the smallest circle, and I didn't want to put my least favorite. So I agree. I found that same tension.
Interesting. Thank you for letting me know, because I was not aware of it. And another thing that is, it's just a hypothesis, like it's again, how easily do you express your love? Okay, I will color my bubbles later, so you can leave them white, or you can color them like the way you want. So it's not necessary you have to leave them white. See what resonates the most with them. So if because it's not just a barrier from your environment, but this is kind of hidden as well. So there's layers of protection. So it could be the message there as well. Something very precious, but very hidden. Which is like, again, there's no judgment about it. It's just like a message for you. And if you want to be more noticeable, more open, you can express this color through other layers. You can find maybe some channels to expand this on top of other colors, the specific favorite colors of yours, and see how this streams of love are connecting yourself with the environment. See how you feel comfortable or not. Maybe it will be a challenge, so something new you will learn about yourself. So, but it's a training. Prepare yourself to the environment, feel comfortable about expressing your love and receive love from others. So that's why we activate it. The topic of love is not very, everybody's talking about it, but how to express, how to feel comfortable, because love really it's a vulnerable state. You have to trust the people around you before you allow them to see what is important for you. What is, as I said, like the love language is your strongest side and the weakest side, like, because people, like, let's don't lie to ourselves, like they can hurt, they can use it as a weapon as well. And it's very important to accept the fact that if I want to experience love, I will be okay, take chances that it may hurt as well. So it's you cannot just feel pleasure in your life. You have to have the whole range from the pain to the pleasure. Many people who shut down all this pain that they feel after some breakups, after some drama, trauma, they shut down the pleasure side as well. And it's very hard to turn it on again. It's like it's a very challenging game. Not even game, it's a very long and challenging process. When we disconnect from our heart, when we disconnect from our body, it's a long journey to find the connection again. So if you want to take such risk, you're welcome. But if you don't want yet, it's okay. Yes, like if you want to color them, color them your favorite color, or some, you can pick another color that has some specific meaning to you. Maybe some emotional charge that this will represent, I know, joy, and from understanding, or what will be the, or there will be appreciation or some satisfaction, some meaning that's really important for you. And see how they will shine through this beautiful mandala. Okay. Any other questions? Like please, Matthew, I love your questions. Catherine doesn't have much questions left. Like I answered all her questions. So, and Krasimira, please ask if any questions not even related to this particular class, but any classes or any other classes or Neurographica in general, I will be happy to answer. I love to talk about Neurographica, as you see.
Did you send your cards out to your kids that you were working with in the jail, I guess?
In May?
Yeah.
Yes, I did not send them because I don't have the addresses, but I dropped them off at the correction center. And I have to say, like, I'm a little bit concerned that there is a chance that they end up somewhere else, not in the cottage that I was meant to send, because there's the moment of transition was a little bit different, not as I expected. And it's definitely my fault. I'm a little bit, I contacted the cottage and said, like, describe the package and like what they expect. But I've never heard anything back from them. So I have no idea if they received it or not. I just hope that it's whoever needed it the most received them. And I will go there on July 30th for some social event. And I hope I will I will find out. I will let you know if they ever received or not, because there was no confirmation from the cottage that I was helping with. So I got a lot from creating them, and I'm very happy and very grateful for this experience. So it was very important for me to do. I would really be happy if they would have it as well. Do you teach any interpretation of colors in the course? There are not at the basic course, but there will be separate course about colors and their meanings. Yes, there is a specific course that calls Neurocolors, and it's requires 8 hours. So we did not announce yet any of the such courses, and basic course is a prerequisite for such courses as well. So you cannot just go directly to the colors, because you need to learn some basics before, some other understandings behind the Neurographica. This is a requirement from the Institute Psychology of Creativity. So, but there will be some courses in the future. We just I was very busy with my education, personal education, and I hope I finished all the paperwork that was needed, but I will know about it somewhere soon, so we'll see. So I do not relax yet, because if anything needs to be changed, I have to be prepared. It's very hard to focus back if you if you're already in the vacation mood. So I have already other courses that I have signed up, and I need to just go through the education. Besides classes that I teach, I learned almost the same amount every week. I think I will do the basic course, but we'll let you know soon. Okay, Matthew, we will be looking forward. It's let me know when you will decide. So I'm like, every basic course is very exciting, because there's so many international students from everywhere. So it's so exciting to see new geographic destinations. I'm like very excited about it. And we have 2 groups. We have Russian speaking group and English speaking group. So there is a different groups that I'm actively participate these days. Okay, so I want to expand some other colors. See how they go. I like, if you know that some of these colors represent the language that your partner is most likely representing, like most likely expecting, bring it more to environment, bring it more to so you can get familiar with, that you can feel comfortable with. It's very important to be connected to your partner on the language, on the level that you both understand. Okay. See what's, and if you want to add any other colors like that are not even in this 5 colors that you have, please do so. Like, there is no really limitations. Again, like maybe there are some other languages that we did not identify yet, but why not? Like, they may be existing. For some reason, like 7 languages would make a lot of sense to me. Like, if there would be 7 based on what you want. And again, it's like different family members, like you may have two different children, like of course different children. You can have two children, and even they could be twins, they may expect expression of love in different ways. And I have no idea how it's affected and how is it really related to any other aspects of them, like maybe it's more related in some kind of I don't know how you can even predict what kind of person and what kind of language they expect. Maybe some astrology can explain. I don't know, I haven't done any researches about it. As long as you understand people appreciate love in different ways, the number of languages doesn't matter once you get the idea. Yes, and it's really the whole idea is that people express love differently. And if you be aware that like maybe it's not your way, but it's still the act of love. And don't judge anything. You just be aware of it and accept it. And it's just enrich your horizons. Not it's not like you expanding to more possibilities. Recognize love around you. Like when we speak more, when we understand more love languages, we really expand our horizons, not just somebody else. We are selfishly thinking about ourselves, how we can benefit from it, why we should do it, like because it's you taking care of yourself. You are filling your love tank by all those possibilities around you. Only when you recognize them that they are possibilities, they are opportunity to recognize love and to express love in different languages as well. That you are not just limited to one way. You can express it every time differently, and have fun with this. Like there is always fun to try something different, to try something new. Okay, I don't even remember what the blue was. I have no idea. So we have our marathon, 21-day marathon is will be done on Sunday. I'm so excited. It's actually the first marathon that I was not just initiated, but really was doing it, because I tried I set up like different goals and for 21 days straight, it's a challenge. It's a real challenge. It's not easy as it seems, but I did it. I'm so proud of myself. And all my students, like really, they have such an interesting insights and interesting realizations and some important decisions that nobody really told them to do. Like they decided to do it and they had fun with this. Sometimes challenge, but it's still the way to self-explore. When it will be done, like if you want to leave bubbles white, or if you want to color them like specific colors, please do so. And you can identify if your heart wants to have some specific color. That's something that is really resonates with you, something that is really important for you to express. Maybe it's one of the colors that you have that you prefer, or maybe it's something different. Maybe it's I want to make my bubbles golden. I will just very golden moments, golden opportunities to recognize love around myself. So very like in the last few days I used so much golden color, golden gel pen, and I don't know, maybe it's related to the fact that I was drawing my marathon about prosperity. So I have so much gold now in my mind, even like just as a symbol of prosperity. It's not like I'm thinking about gold, but somehow it's appearing. Oh, maybe it's just to see the precious treasury in everything that is around me, not just in the maternal aspects of life. That love is really golden, very precious. So maybe big circles. Big opportunities or big people in my life, yes. So, as any drawing, Neurographica drawing, we will add some field lines. And in this case, you see which way you want to do, like which way is really resonates to you. It can go from inside out. Like if you find that this mandala gave you enough love and support, and you want to express this enormous energy, enormous power that is your heart is capable of, or you want to be aligned with the universe, like and the lines, neural field lines just go across your mandala. So see which way you want to try. I've seen like both ways, and both ways are very powerful and very big meanings for people. So there's no just only one way. So see what is important for you today, to be aligned or to express this powerful potential of your heart. So it's nobody can give you the best advice what to do. You have to listen to your heart. How does it want to be supported by field lines? Okay, I have many golden circles, like golden balloons around my mandala. I give them. So was it easy for you to identify your love language? Like if you remember something that it was made you the most pleasurable experience, or maybe sometimes most painful experience, like both ways can tell you about your love language. I actually was a little bit surprised when I did the test. I did not, I knew that the words of affirmation would be very important for me. Well, there was no question about it, but about gifts, something new. I did not really expect that it will be equally important. And another thing that I wanted to mention that, like, if your children have any of your language, any of those languages zero out, we as a parent or your spouse, if like zero out, we need to explain the importance of to learn all those languages. That it's expanding their horizons, not just their future partners or current partners, like, because it can cause them a lot of trouble in the future. Like if their zero out language will be dominant of their partner, which is most likely happens, it will be disaster in a relationship. It will be very hard to express love for them in the way that partner expect. It's so we need to expand those horizons, not just for ourselves, but for our children as well, to learn the importance of every language. That it's if it's not important for you, it can be important for some people around you. And be very patient with this, because it's again, it's a language. It takes time to be comfortable with this, to even understand the importance of it. Okay, so I colored, oh, I did not color my heart. My heart will be golden. Today, my heart will be golden. And I'm ready for field lines. So see how the field lines want to go. Once they be from as a rays of love, or if they want to be the flow of love, which way you feel more comfortable and more supported by the universe. So it's both ways still be the support from the universe, it still be synchronicity with the universe. You just synchronize that's your center, powerful center, your heart, and express this universe through your heart, like through this enormous potential that you have. in your soul, in your being, or you want to align and the flow just going through. It will most likely will align your heart as well, but just in a different way. Be guided by the flow. So see which way you want. Okay, I'm sharpening my pencils to make sure that if I want to add anything, I want to do it from the inside out. I want to make sure. And again, the field lines can go across, like along those existing lines, or they may create their own path. There is no exactly right way. I highly recommend you to trust the field lines, see which way they want to go. Don't force anything. See if it's because it's alignment, and only universe knows where you should be. So trust your body. Body never lies, and it's really how you can trust your hand and see where does it go. See where does it lead you. Okay, so I created some unusual path, new path for some of them, and to make sure that everything integrated, that everything is alignment is harmonious to me, I start around all these corners again. I make sure that everything is safe, harmonious, balanced. There is no conflict in between me and universe. We are gently supporting each other. Feel the support. And recognize the support, like as a guidance, not as a force, not as an enormous force that universe has. Okay. So we see how you are, again, like resonates your body. How are you? How do you feel? Any emotional changes? Any energetic shifts in your body? See, pay attention. Maybe some changes, any shifts in your perception. Be very gentle to yourself. There is no rush, especially when we're talking about love. Love really requires some time, patience, pay attention to details, especially like, yeah, it's relationships, like you need to pay attention to some small details, and at the same time see bigger picture. It's so you have a variety of all these instruments available for you, not just stuck in details, not just dream about big like huge fantasies and without doing anything in a real life, no small steps. So see how you feel. We are, every drawing is really how we can expand our horizons, how we can expect our tools, how we can expect our beliefs and ourselves, like our perception, our energy. So we're always working with ourselves. We don't try to change the whole world, but I believe that if we're changing ourselves, the world will resonate with us. And it will be much, if you are going to take care of yourself, and somebody else will take care of themselves, and million other people will take care of themselves, the world will be better. So we don't try to force the goodness to other people. It's never end up well. So we just ask for our own guidance, not for anybody else. And even if you want to help somebody, you draw about how I can help, how I can feel resources to support somebody. You don't try to draw something that it will change somebody, like change situations. Everything that happens to us, there is no coincidences, there is always lessons. And sometimes a lesson could be challenging, like very challenging. But it still be, you still need to learn something from it. Something good, something important. Okay. So did you have a chance to draw your field lines? Or are you still coloring? In previous drawings, I found the final field lines to be a formality, but now it feels like the most important part. Yes, because you can the field lines, you can give them different meanings, and I believe that universe in all different ways just trying to express its own love. We don't understand those languages. We recognize them sometimes as an evil, but it's all for the goodness. It's all to support us and guide us in a better way. So maybe it's really field lines should be divine love lines in this case. And I still hope that it will be much more recognizable language that the universe is talking to me. I don't want anything that I recognize as a painful experiences. I don't accept it, and like there will be some challenges, of course, but it's much easier to feel support from the universe when it's gentle, when it's in a way that I feel not pushed, not forced. And I hope there will be much more such situations where I can be supported in a gentle way. It's like a parent. Sometimes we have to be very strict, and considering like for children, sometimes we are even cruel for some situations, because you know better what children's needs, and it's universe has the same power, the same knowledge, what is best for us. And our goal is to listen small whispers, so there will be, you can have clues and some hints ahead, and maybe avoiding big forcing powers. Like if your universe saying that don't touch a hot pot, and you listen it from first time, you don't have to burn your hand. So it's just universe has different languages, I believe, for different people as well. We just need to learn them. That's a quite interesting idea. Look at. Okay, if you want to fixate something, like highlight something that is the most important for you here, please do so. You can highlight your heart, your centerpiece, or you can highlight some of the bubbles, or maybe some of the levels that is very important for you. See if it's something that is you want to remember the most. I'm not sure. On the first drawing, I tried to create this, I felt like I had so much love that I want to expand it with like rays of light or rays of love. And it's actually didn't go as I expected, because I was a little bit too enthusiastic about it. See if you want to create this like a sun rays and shine this love, or maybe you just or don't do, like I'm not going to do it today. I'm like I had my expansion already. So you can, maybe you want to highlight some specific circles, 1, 2, maybe several of them. So see which really resonates the most to you. And we have some more touches, some adjustments, and see how you feel. See how do you connect it to this mandala. Mandala is very sacred element. I love mandalas. I carve them, I paint them, I draw them. Like there's so many mandalas in my house. That's it's really very energetic house. Right now I have a exhibition of mandalas in one of this local coffee shop, that but my carved mandalas. And I have to say, like you take 12 mandalas out of your house and it feels like empty. I left like, I don't know, another 12, but it's a different one. So it's interesting how you always connect to mandalas. Mandalas really has a lot of meanings and a lot of harmony that we would love to resonate with. Like it's very easy to connect to mandalas because there is everything is harmonious about them. So now I invite you to find the piece of paper that you had all these marks about colorings and see which language goes on which side. Like if you did color like blindly, and how it's really resonates the most. Interesting. Like my least one, but the closest to my heart is a physical touch. I don't have my printouts of past. I know that and okay, so as receiving gifts, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and physical touch. Interesting. Something in my case, like some of it resonates with the quiz, but not everything. Some of this different places. I think that some of them, like in the quiz, was a little bit shifted. Like some of the colors was different order, but I still love the way I draw. Like I trust it even more than to the quiz. This really makes me somehow more powerful, more happier, joyful about my drawing than to the quiz. See if yours resonates or not. So everyone is different, and as I said, it's an experiment, and even scientific research can go as you expect or not. So it's there is no really obligations to fit in the expectations. Like any neurographical work is beautiful because there's no really expectations. We just like playing with this and see something worked, something new, discovery happened or not. And it's okay if it's not yet. Maybe we need to tune it a little bit more. Some secret ingredient maybe is missing. We'll see. If I discover this ingredient, I will let you know. Okay, so this is my mandala, and I will switch to face-to-face. And if you want to share your mandalas, please do so, and I maybe give you, okay, so Krasimira. Wow, it's a very strong mandala, very strong mandala. I love how it's powerful, it's really powerful. Some of these colors are very contrast, which makes it, brings attention to it. So it's really, everything there is a little bit like unpredictable, so some unpredictable about your mandala. It's like, wow, it could be this gentle and this powerful and this feminine at the same time, and be somehow harmonized in it. You can create more colors outside in your, like there are some you can, like, because there's so much powerful colors inside of you, that environment is a little bit not pale, but not as bright, I would say, like not so intense. If you bring a little bit more shading, where you have a different aspect, like it could be pale, but some edges can be more intense, it's creates more comfortable environment for you, that you will be not so stand out. But it's a very beautiful mandala. I really love it. And how, first of all, I love how big it is. There is no limitations about it. Like it's a, I've seen different ones, and so, and how huge heart you have, like very big, very powerful. Like, thank you for sharing. I'm so excited when I see like such a big people, big heart people. So Matthew, do you want to take a picture and send it to us, and I can just open it? Yeah. It's always interesting to see how people during the class has a different we're drawing the same elements, the same topics, but how everybody express their personalities through drawings, and it's very powerful. It's amazing to learn something new about somebody who is on a different side of the world. It's a very amaze me and feel connected on this very interesting creative way. If any questions, please let me know. This is the best time to do so. I have already 2 mandalas, and it's interesting, like this time I have a different colors, completely different colors, and it feels like more gentle. Let me switch my camera so I can show you how it's different. Like, this was my first mandala from Wednesday, I think this way. So with my golden heart and golden lines, which were not planned. It was a little bit unexpected to be so golden. But I look at my mandala and see how it's more intense. And this is, for me, it seems like gentler. Okay. Let's see, save. I know it's not finished yet, but it will be interesting to see. Let's see. Documents. It's quite a process for me to find. Wait. Where did it go? Oh, I believe this one is yours. Okay, so let me share it with everyone. Okay, share screen. So everybody sees it? Okay, so it's completely different quality, like a different personality in this in the mandala. I see, yeah, I see that you're still working on some field lines. So red is inside. So red is your favorite color, yes? So you see that you're bringing the red to outside, like this flow. And at some point, it's almost broken. So you can just follow with the red pencil and just like it streams, like creating teeny lines, so it will be flowing easily along those lines. So it's not necessarily need to be like chunks of it, but maybe some even just streams may create the flow. So there will be some expression of it. Maybe some shading along those lines that may connect all them and create the flow. So you have this more red in your life. And another thing, like that red is not suppressed, that it's really give the red. It's interesting when you decided to expand this red, all them, they really bring a lot of life to the mandala. Very very powerful. It brings like a blood vessels to the whole mandala. And don't hesitate to bring it more outside. You can draw more circles outside, or you can just color some these unusual shapes outside in red. See what resonates the most. Very different, but as powerful as any other. So thanks a lot for sharing. So like I'm trying to see if any other suggestion I gave. Like, I love how balanced it is. I love how well your lines expanded around, so there is no limitations. Like, there is no some white spots that, or blind spots that you not exploring with lines. Yeah, and I love the circles, like some of them, like, and I love how they are not perfect circles, because when we try to be perfect all the time, it's really limiting us. It really gives us high expectations. It will be very hard to achieve, and imperfections really bring the life to the anything we do. And it creates a uniqueness. And I love how circles are different in a very beautiful way. Okay, stop share. Okay, Catherine, you're welcome. Have a great weekend. I don't know, I always struggle with the outside part. I think maybe just a technique thing I am still learning. It's outside part is not just yours challenge. It's a challenge for many people, and I was there. And we are so focused on what is going on inside of us, and it's quite normal until we learn who we are and how we can be comfortable with ourselves. It will be the environment will be not as important. So it's perfectly okay to be concentrated on your mandala instead of outside, but it's a learning curve. Good luck with this. So thanks a lot for sharing your drawings. I'm looking forward for next week, unless it will be for some reason for a good reason canceled. I hope it will be, if there will be reason, it will be a good one. So see you next week. There is another class on Wednesday that you can take a look and watch the video. It was a little bit different aspects, and see how I changed a little bit this time. And I'm looking forward to see you. So thanks a lot. To Canada, to Australia, to the whole world who is going to watch this video. And it's a very beautiful way to connect. So thanks a lot, and have a good night or have a good day, depending on where you are.